What a fun little adventure.
Did she make it back or not?
Not sure. Haven't heard from her in a couple days. Thanks, Dina, for that report. There are, of course, many other activities you can take part in the desert, and as always, safety has to be a top priority.
Indeed it does. And here to tell us more about camping and the safety precautions which we need to take is Laura Coughlin, the web editor at Explorer Publishing. Laura, welcome.
Thank you very much.
So from dune bashing to camping, I mean, the desert offers so much to us, whether it be during the evenings or the weekends. But I suppose, as we said there, it's all about safety. So before we get on to some of the do's, the don'ts, etc., is camping in the desert still as popular as it ever was?
Absolutely, it definitely is extremely popular. I mean, the desert, it's like our back garden, isn't it? We get to go and explore it. That's the whole reason why we're in the UAE. It's for the activities, it's for the fun things we get to do, and it definitely is still as popular.
On the back of that, does that mean there are more people now out camping, and therefore do you have to be a little more careful where you camp and take into account where other people are camping?
Yeah, absolutely you do. I mean, we have a lot of people out there who are camping. You need to respect your noise limits when you're outside. But it is still a huge, vast space, so you can definitely be by yourself.
I'm not very comfortable with the whole idea of camping out in the middle of the desert.
Really?
So, yeah, no. It's not really my thing. So I'm just curious, what are some of the things we should be aware of, or threats, natural threats, like...
Creepy crawlies?
Yeah,
Creepy crawlies.
There are some nasty creepy crawlies out and about. We would basically say to people, especially young children who love to go exploring out into the desert when they're on their own, just be careful, don't get any sticks and poke into any holes, or don't unearth any rocks, just in case there may be something nasty. And we hear a lot of stories about people who are packing away their tents and they find some little nasty scorpions underneath there. So just be very careful when you're rolling away your sleeping bag and putting your tent away, I'd say.
And like Bear Grylls tells you, always keep the campfire burning, because it might attract a few of the flying creepy crawlies, but keeps the others away.
And is there any precautions we should take in building campfires as well? What should we be aware of?
Are you allowed to?
You can. What we would recommend is making sure that you have stones in a circle format. That way, it just keeps the fire within.
Contains it.
Exactly, contains it.
It's a good time of year to go camping, because obviously we're at that sort of change of season, if you like, so perfect time to go camping. But, I mean, it's not always that straightforward, is it? It can get quite cold in the desert.
Yeah, it can get very cold, but I would say that what they're saying now is right now between March and April is the perfect time to go camping. So it's not going to be ridiculously hot out in the desert during the day, and it's going to be nice and cool. You won't be waking up in a hot sweat.
See, Sam's getting any better or not?
I'm not sold yet 100%.
I must be doing a terrible job.
No, it's me. So what are some of the best places in the UAE to go camping?
It depends, really. If you're a family and, for example, you haven't been desert camping at all, we would definitely recommend somewhere fairly local, nearby, that has amenities, facilities, toilets, that sort of thing. And an ideal place for that would be, we would say, Fujairah. You've got a great stretch of beach, you're going to feel like you're out in the wilderness, but at the same time, there's some hotels, a cheeky beach restaurant in case your barbecue doesn't go quite to plan, and the kids and yourselves are going to feel really out in the desert anyway.
You might be able to sneak into one of the beach showers as well.
I think so, yeah.
You spoke about the creepy crawlies a little earlier. What about the clangers? Those big mistakes that you and other experienced campers have seen. What are the mistakes that people most often make?
One of the dangerous mistakes people make is camping within a wadi bed. So they draw people like a moth to a flame, these places, because they are so beautiful. But you have to be very careful. Please look up to the sky. If there are clouds forming, these wadi beds can fill up with water very, very fast. And people want to camp within these areas because they think it's, a beautiful place to camp. But be warned, if it starts to rain ever so, slightly, even far away, those wadi beds will fill up very, very fast.
Okay. Things to be aware of.
Yeah, what about the whole thing about getting lost, though? Do people get lost in the desert still?
Sure, people do still get lost in the desert. There are many precautions that you should take. Obviously, a guidebook, itinerary, a map, even GPS now is brilliant. A lot of cars are coming with those. But we would also say, if you are going to go camping, don't just go with one car. Don't go by yourself. Desert camping is always fun with more people anyway. Make sure that there are at least 2 cars in convoy going out. In case one gets lost, then you've got
buddy system.
Absolutely.
The buddy system.
Talkies, get a convoy going on.
And you're a party.
Well, speaking of parties and enjoying the whole camping atmosphere, are there any activities that people partake in while they're out in the desert?
Well, it's always different, isn't it? When you go out into the desert, we would always, obviously, a bat and a ball, card games. You can do so many activities out there. You've just shown dune bashing, which is brilliant fun. But if it's just you and a friend, there's nothing better really than just kicking back with all of your friends, eating some delicious treats, and just enjoying the stars.
Things to pack, because you've seen it all, from people who go out with absolutely nothing, the basic approach to camping, to those that have got trailers hanging off the back of their 4x4s and shovels hanging off their roofs and everything. What are the essential pieces of equipment that you must take?
I think tent. Yeah, absolutely. Tent, a light sleeping bag, first aid kit just in case any accidents happen, and absolutely necessity, water. You won't believe how many people do forget to bring water. They'll think someone is packing it, that person will think someone else is packing it, but just fill your car with water, with as much water as you think, and then just double it. And you can never have too much. And obviously, rubbish bags as well. Whatever, however you saw the desert, please leave it.
Yeah, quite right. Great advice, yeah. So come on, Sam, you've got under the stars, you can wake up to the sunset, complete silence.
I'm considering it.
Even a portable shower.
If there's a shower there, I'll consider it.
There is one very good company that specialises in glamping. My housemate is very much a fan of that. So perhaps if you just want to go out and enjoy the desert, but you'd prefer it if someone pitched the tent for you, perhaps even made your food for you, then there are definitely
now I'm
that do
sold,
that
Laura.
for you.
Glamping is definitely...
ExploraPublishing.com/Dubai for all that info and more. Laura, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks very much indeed
Thank
for
you
being
very
with
much.
us.
It's been a pleasure.
Courtesy of Explorer Publishing, we've got 10 UAE Off-Road Explorer Guides and 10 Oman Off-Road Explorer Guides, which you could win.
Go to our Facebook page and write "Let's Off-Road" on our wall. The address you need is facebook.com/Studio One Live. And the winners will be announced on tomorrow night's show.
Join us after the break when Dina checks out a charity run and meets Chris Fade and Chad. And we find out why the lights went out for a good cause all over Dubai this Saturday night.
Be right back.